It's quiet here at the high school right now. There's no cars, no people. And earlier tonight, Two Rivers Police Chief Brian Kohlmeyer confirmed there was a medical emergency here at Two Rivers High School. The Manitowoc School Board voted in favor of providing its members with key fobs for use at all district buildings. A former Green Bay school bus driver accused of drinking beer during a field trip made his initial appearance in court on Wednesday. Some of that money will go towards replacing and reconfiguring Winneconne's high school parking lot because Larson says it's a thoroughfare. I spoke with member Matt Phipps, who says this would disallow teachers from being able to speak their opinions on controversial topics like gender, religion, politics. As soon as they were picked, incoming players signed letters of intent to play football at Ashwaubenon High School. Manitowoc School Board Vice President Colin Burnell hosted his own listening session at Lincoln High School in an effort to hear questions and concerns from members of the community. In early February, a man walked on stage during the public comment portion of a Manitowoc School Board meeting. The superintendent then blocked him from moving any closer to the board's members.
Those are dangerous situations. You don't know what someone's intentions are.
Board President Dave Nichols says some parents are telling him they don't feel safe attending his meetings in person.
I discussed that with law enforcement after that meeting, and their advice was to not allow that to occur.
According to Nichols, Tuesday night's meeting was moved from in-person to virtual due to safety concerns.
Rather than utilizing security personnel, I just felt that a virtual meeting was a better solution for now to provide a safe and healthy atmosphere for all the participants.
A group of parents and two board members gathered together for the online meeting here at the Baymont Hotel.
I've also noticed banter among our audience members during our meetings. And that can lead to physical altercations, as it has at some other types of meetings. And we've had to shut down several of our meetings due to misbehavior by participants.
Michael Mealy is the Manitowoc man who approached the stage.
Am I a safety concern?
He says he was trying to hand staff documents.
I'm in an inquiry mode. I'm serving lawful papers and FOIA requests.
We've heard from Manitowoc parents who believe the virtual move is a form of censorship.
I have not initiated any use of direct force upon anyone.
At the end of Tuesday night's meeting, board members failed to pass a motion to bring back the in-person format, but Nichols doesn't think it will stay that way for the foreseeable future.
I'm not interested in this continuing over the long term.
In Manitowoc, Ben Bokun, NBC 26. A former Green Bay school bus driver accused of drinking beer during a field trip made his initial appearance in court on Wednesday.
I was just trying to say, Your Honor, that I'm sorry for what I did.
James Nelson has been criminally charged with OWI. The criminal complaint states he admitted to police that he drank 2 beers during a field trip to Madison, where he carried 4th and 5th grade Lincoln Elementary School students. A now former Lamers employee, Nelson was given a $1,000 signature bond.
I worked there 5 years with an impeccable record. This was a bad choice of discretion.
According to the complaint, police arrested Nelson for operating a commercial motor vehicle with a blood alcohol concentration of .04 or more, and the 70-year-old veteran told police he was parked alone while drinking.
I see no OWIs or any other crimes on his record. Nonetheless, the conduct in this particular instance was egregious.
The complaint also says school staff members noticed a cooler of beer and that the bus tires hit rumble strips about 5 times on the way from Madison back to Green Bay.
For purposes of setting bond, I don't have any reason to believe that that he would flee or that he necessarily presents a safety risk as long as he is not operating any commercial motor vehicles.
In a statement, his former employer said Lamers Bus Lines has a zero-tolerance policy for drugs and alcohol, and the driver has been terminated effective immediately.
I did some harm more to myself than for Lamers, and I did not want to put them through any more difficulty than they have.
In Green Bay, Ben Bokun, NBC 26. It's what Manitowoc school officials are calling a crisis. The superintendent says that students often mirror behavior from across society, and there's rising tension in our society.
I have noticed a distinct change in the engagement overall.
Gavin Annette is a teacher at Lincoln High School. According to Manitowoc Police, a student assaulted another staff member at the school last month.
I will on occasion have a student or students that will just stop learning and will just leave the room.
According to a district report, 92 students were suspended out of school during the first quarter of the year. In the 2019-2020 school year, there were about 200. And Manitowoc has already seen more in-school suspensions than the previous 3 years.
I simply feel like the consequences that a lot of us are looking for, as much as I wish they were still effective, I honestly feel like they're relatively outdated.
That's part of the reason why a Student Behavior Advisory Board met Thursday night. A group of parents and former teachers aim to create solutions and guidelines.
I'm hopeful that we'll be able to come up with some ideas and some advice that we can provide that will better address the behavior issues that we've seen in our school.
Most of the out-of-school suspensions were given due to fighting, disruptive behavior, and even drugs or tobacco.
Some of that's due to the pandemic and the fact that students haven't been out and about socially as much, or were in virtual learning for a period of time.
Last week, the district held training to try and help teachers learn more about de-escalating situations.
We've added mental health in our schools. We've added school counselors this year. We've added nurses this year. So we've added staff to help support students, knowing that this will come.
The superintendent says the problem is getting better this quarter, but the advisory board plans to meet weekly. The CDC reports children's mental health is suffering across the nation.
I actually feel like this has been a bit of a shock for all of the students and all the kids in our community. I mean, they essentially went through a low-level trauma.
In Manitowoc, Ben Bokun, NBC 26.